Hi everyone, I'm Christine McDonald from Rushing River Apiaries, and today I'm going to show you how I light my smoker. So this is a Mann Lake smoker with the plastic bellows, but the same thing will apply no matter which smoker you use. Now the idea with smoke is that you want to produce a lot of it, but you want it to be a nice cool smoke so that it's gentle on the bees. It's not meant to be a flamethrower. The bees will not like that. The reason that we use smoke when we go in a beehive is twofold. The first purpose is that it will interrupt the alarm pheromone, that signal that bees send out when there's an intruder, i.e. a beekeeper coming into their hive, smells a little bit like bananas, and it'll just mask that so that not all of the bees are in that alarm state when you're trying to work in there. The second purpose, once the hive is opened and you're working, is that using a bit of smoke over the tops of the frames will help drive the bees down into the cells where they're gorging on honey in case they need to evacuate the hive. But that will keep them out of harm's way. They're down where your fingers aren't going to crush them, and there's fewer bees flying up around you while you're trying to work. Now, the way that I light my smoker, or what I use in my smoker, is burlap. Now, I need my smoker to work for hours and hours. Not everybody does, but no matter what, this just gives a really nice, cool smoke and is a pretty foolproof way of getting your smoker going and still having it going when you need it. This is a burlap sandbag, so used if there's been flooding, or sometimes if you live somewhere with a harsh winter, to put a little weight in the back of a truck. You can probably find them at hardware stores. Coffee roasters might also have some that they're willing to give up. But any kind of natural burlap, I wouldn't go pay for it at a crafting place. There are definitely cheaper smoker materials out there. If you can't find burlap, then the same way that I'm going to show you how I light my smoker works with tightly rolled cardboard. So save up those Amazon boxes and you can use those in the same way. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try and roll it as close to the actual size of my smoker as I can. Now this is going to really vary depending on the size of your smoker and the size of your burlap, but I'm going to try and make it match that size fairly closely. So I've just folded it into thirds and then I've rolled it in a tight ball, and I can fit it down in there kind of easily. I might roll it a little bit tighter. You want to be able to get it in there when it's on fire without having to work it too hard with your hands. So I'm just going to give it another little test. Perfect. So I can do that quickly and not burn my fingers. Now the other thing that is a very worthwhile investment for smoker lighting is a propane torch. It runs on one of these little light camping propane bottles. You can just turn on the flow, and then usually with the push of a button you will get light. There we go. So that's running, and now I'm just going to light the bottom of my burlap using the propane torch. Patience is kind of key here. You want to give it a chance to get going, and that means not cramming it in there at the first sign of embers there on the bottom. You can see it's getting nice and black kind of over the whole round of it. Now this is going to go in, this is the bottom as I put it in my smoker, and the reason for that is it forces all that smoke up through the unburned burlap, and that's what's going to cool it off so that you're not harming your bees. It's a little windy and wet where I am today, so I'm not getting a good flame going, but I can see that the heat is still traveling through my burlap there. Now, step 2 of this is the most important part. So I'm going to put this in here and close the lid, but that won't stay going well on its own. You can see I have a little bit of smoke coming up, but what's going to keep you going over the long term is actually applying some heat now to the outside of your smoker. And as you do this, you'll actually kind of see the point where it really takes off, where the smoke changes in there. So you're heating up that whole space inside. There we go. Now we have a nice steady stream of smoke, and that will stay going for hours if you need it to. If you need to get it going a little bit more mid-inspection because you haven't used it in a little while, just apply the heat to the outside again and there's no need to open it back up. There you go. That's how I start my smoker and keep it going as long as I need it to.